Welcome back to Crawford-Clark Close-Up and our James Bond retrospective. We've made it to the end of the year and the end of the Roger Moore tenure of the series. Following his announcement as Connery's successor in 1972, Moore jumped straight into filming Live and Let Die and barely looked back. Despite only being contracted for 5 films in the series, Moore decided to continue in the lead role until making the decision to gracefully take his final bow in A View to a Kill in 1985. The late Sir Roger remembered how I told my dear friend Lou Grade that I was to be the next 007. With tears welling in his eyes, he shook his head and said, "Roger, don't do it. It'll ruin your career." How wrong could someone be? Moore brought a new persona to Fleming's protagonist, never trying to emulate Connery or Lazenby, merely bringing his own lighter, English gentleman touch to the character. For many fans of a certain age who grew up with the Bonds of the 70s and 80s, Moore was their Bond, and remains their favourite. Whilst he's not my own personal favourite 007, his films are infectiously entertaining outings in the series, and I'm proud that I decided to attend his afternoon with Roger Moore shortly before his passing. I'm also the proud owner of a personally dedicated signed picture of Moore as Bond from For Your Eyes Only. We've explored all of the Moore Bond adventures from Live and Let Die to A View to a Kill, so now it's time to present our top 5 greatest Moore Bond moments. As always, our list is subjective, so let us know your favourites in the comments below, and as always, if you enjoy this video, please click subscribe at the top of the page. Come and find Crawford-Clark Close-Up on Facebook and Twitter, and drop us an email with suggestions for future reviews on the channel to crawfordclarkcloseup@gmail.com. Just missing out on a place in the top 5 is Bond vs Kamal Khan at the backgammon table in Octopussy. The confidence that Moore exudes without even having to look down to confirm that it is in fact double sixes, fancy that, is brilliant, but there are 5 even better Moore Bond moments. Starting out our top 5 at 5 is Bond tricking Solitaire into sleeping with him with the deck of lovers. It's stereotypically chauvinistic of James Bond to be this way, and is one of a couple of standout moments in Moore's debut Bond outing. At number 4, it's the centrifuge sequence from Moonraker. Bond has been put into a number of nerve-wracking situations over the years, but when he stumbles out of the test simulator, he looks, pardon the expression, fucked. He's put through the ringer by Char at the Moonraker test facility and looks like he's genuinely in fear for his life during the sequence, and it's one of the highlights of a lesser film in the series. Beginning the top 3, we have Moore's Bond kicking Locque's car off the cliff in For Your Eyes Only. Despite Moore thinking the action was out of character for his version of Bond, director John Glenn convinced him otherwise, and the scene gives Moore's Bond the harder edge from Fleming's novels that was well overdue. So we've got 2 big stunts from Moore's Bond era in the top 2 spots on our greatest moments list. And in second place, it's another classic moment from Live and Let Die, jumping over the backs of the crocodiles. Ross Kananga, the owner of the crocodile farm, performed the stunt after a number of attempts, and it still stands as one of the most impressive stunts in the whole series. It comes in the second act of the film, ahead of the big boat chase in the bayous. So the number 1 Moore Bond moment shouldn't really be a surprise. It's one of the definitive moments in the whole series. The opening parachute jump of The Spy Who Loved Me, and Moore parachuting into Maurice Binder's title sequence, is the signature scene during Moore's time on the series. Sir Roger Moore was loved by everyone he worked with, and it was a sad day on May 23rd, 2017, when our first James Bond actor was taken from us. As Arthur Worcester, cameraman from the 1980s Bond adventures, remarked, "When Roger walked onto the set, the whole crew would be lifted, because he was just a carefree kind of guy." Whether he's one of your favourite Bonds or not, Moore contributed so much to the success of the series across 2 decades. So those are our standout Moore Bond moments. What are your thoughts on our picks for the Moore era? Let us know your top 5 Moore Bond moments in the comments below, and don't forget to subscribe to Crawford-Clark Close-Up. Our reviews of the James Bond series will continue in the new year as we explore Timothy Dalton, Pierce Brosnan, and the current Bond incumbent Daniel Craig's outings as 007. Thanks for watching, and until next time, that's a wrap.